Hello viewers, welcome to Mate TV. This video has been going around the internet and it has been causing a lot of stir. We've heard rumors of some set of people being disenfranchised. That means they've not been given their PVCs or refusing to be given their PVCs. And with this, do we still think it's still a rumor? Few days ago, the INEC brought out a list of polling units that won't partake in the election. And they've been claiming of being neutral ever since. A hunter found thousands of PVCs disposed inside a bush at Nnewi North local government. And if you can remember, the list released from the INEC shows that the Nnewi North will not be voting, and these Nnewi North, those are the numbers of PVCs the hunter found inside the bush. The question now is, who disposed those PVCs? The INEC is the body responsible for registering voters and providing them with PVCs. So, PVCs can only be in two places, in the voters' hands or with the INEC officials. And before now, we've had complaints of some set of people not getting their PVCs because it was not found. Well, the hunter took the PVCs to Authority FM where they are being shared to the people. In an interview, Mr. Victor Aloko, the Director of Voters Education and Publicity of INEC, was asked a question. How was those PVCs found inside the bush, and are they part of the data of the total PVCs collected or total PVCs that were not collected?
The total number of PVCs that are in the hands of Nigerians.
Are you saying, Mr. Aluko?
And those are the people that, of course, will be able to vote.
Are you saying, Mr. Aluko, that all those PVCs that were found, some inside the bush, some inside the drainage channels, and the one that the hunter found in Nnewi North, Authority FM in that state had been announcing and telling people to come and collect their PVCs? What INEC could not distribute, it was a radio station that was helping to distribute it in Anambra, having found these PVCs in the bush. How did the PVCs get to the bush in the first place?
The truth is, our PVCs are either in our offices or when they are collected at the hands of the people. We'll be seeing fantastic stories in the media. We'll be seeing all sorts of postings on the social media. And we believe that if anybody finds that, the person should report to the police. We believe that all those posting on social media they're like fantasy and they're like distractions. And at this particular time, less than 24 hours to a general election, where INEC is already deploying. We're already deploying, and by tomorrow morning, by this time tomorrow morning, of course, all our polling units all over the country, 176,606 polling units will be up, will be on and functioning. So our minds are focused on opening up polling units tomorrow, and we don't want to be distracted by fantastic stories about PVCs discovered in forest by hunters that are supposed to be hunting antelopes and rabbits. Hunters should hunt the antelopes and let us have some peace.
Okay, Mr. Ayaluko, this is very important for Nigerians. In the same way that INEC wants to conduct a free, fair and credible election, and it's focused on that, Nigerians also want to exercise their franchise. They want to vote. And so saying that these stories are fantasies is a bit, it's a bit insensitive to many Nigerians who were unable to collect their PVCs. On a personal level, my husband and I registered at the same polling unit. I got mine. His wasn't found. It was escalated. Nothing was done about it. So it's a bit difficult to say that these stories are fantasies, because these are real concerns by real people. And these cards, we saw them, except when you're saying that they are fake or perhaps they were planted in the forest. But going away, in addition to that, I'd like to also speak about certain concerns around some parties saying that they were not on the ballot boxes. For instance, in Lagos, one of the party officials had mentioned that they omitted their party logo. And I'd like you to speak to this, because there's a bit of confusion around this, and Nigerians are asking, especially, of course, some of their party members, that what is really going on. Why are some party logos omitted from the ballot boxes, particularly in some certain electoral positions or positions up for elections? I'd like you to please respond to that.
Well, I personally am not aware of that there's any party logo that's omitted from any ballot paper. The ballot papers are not yet out. The ballot papers are serious, sensitive materials that will only be out tomorrow morning. So we've not received any report from the Lagos State Office of INEC about any incidents like that. The Resident Electoral Commissioner will have to, if the Resident Electoral Commissioner is aware of that, if you have already seen the ballot papers in advance, he will have to escalate it to the headquarters. And then it will have to be handled by our very, very, very top officials. I personally have not been informed that any logo of any party is missing on any particular ballot paper. Okay. But if such a thing happens, there are ways of dealing with them. The Resident Electoral Commissioner knows what to do, and will surely do the needful. Okay,
is it the same Resident Electoral Commissioner that a lot of people have tainted and said, you know what, we don't support his judgment on this election? And I'm talking about Mr. Agbaje, which gave him many petitions written as regards. In fact, I think Professor Patotomi was still here yesterday to speak as regards that. And for that report that Ayo cited, it is actually the Labour Party chairman in the states that pointed it out. So the Labour Party, state party chairman, that pointed it as how you want to look at it. So I'd like to ask you about the calls for the Resident Electoral Commissioner, Mr. Agbaje, to be reposted because people don't trust the process, with him. Secondly, the violation of, the stay by the courts, that says that MC Olomo should not be used and Lagos Parks and Garages should not be used to distribute these materials. What would you say about that? Because apparently, INEC is still in Lagos is saying they are going ahead with this, despite the stay in the court. And thirdly, I'd like to ask you, please, does INEC have a system where they verify that the INEC staff actually gave people their voter's card? Because in this Inewi case, what I've been able to deduce from what you've said now is the fact that most of these voters' cards thrown into the bush are recorded probably to have been collected already, but they are in the bush. So is there a verification step that the voters' cards were actually given to the people needed? And how will you reconcile that with the fact that most of Inewi North, where these voters' cards were supposed to be, fall under the polling units that INEC said people will not be voting in when they release that list? How do we reconcile all of that, sir?
I think you need to back up your claims with facts. Please let us desist from stories that may not be factual.
This was his reply. So do you think INEC is being neutral with all of this? Well, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Drop it there. And please do subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications so you get more updates as we drop them. Do well as to please follow us on Instagram and also on Facebook.